Hello and welcome. This is Lynda with Icky Chic Designs. I'm here with a process video. I'm going to follow a suggestion and try to make my videos, at least some of them, more about the process as I work through it myself. And they will be longer because of that. But I can show you some of the things that I actually do in the process rather than just showing you a finished project and then describing how I did it. These are little greeting cards that I am working on using 4x4s out of the Stitch by Stitch project. You can find that playlist, Stitch by Stitch, and follow along this year with us if you want to. Remember, I'm making as many of these as I can in a year, but I'm also dedicated to putting them to practical use and showing you how I've been using them. So you can follow that playlist to follow along with me in that project. But these are a couple of greeting cards that I'm making, again, out of scrap fabrics. And this one I have to the point where I am going to sew this to the little paper insert for the writing area for the greeting card. And I have already machine sewn this fabric to this fabric right here. You can see the machine stitching across there. I also machine stitched this little pocket in here, which you can slip another little something in there, that whatever it is you want to include. Again, I may be including in these one of my pendants, like that. Or I can stick with anything I want to, but another little writing note would be nice too. And but this is very dead simple. This I have hand sewn. You can see where it's hand sewn, and I'm leaving that to show because that's part of the charm of this. It's handmade. It's cottage core. It's rough. It's just perfectly imperfect. In this piece here, you can see that I took the inside lining, I cut it a little bigger and folded it over and left raw edges and just sewed it around and capped that off and made it inside. Okay, let me show you a little bit more of that process as we go along here. This one is in process. I have machine sewn this pocket. It's a bigger pocket, and machine sewn it. However, on this one, I hand sewed the two layers together. I did not fold over the layer of the inside layer to the outside. I did not make any casing of any kind. In fact, I went back and fringed up the edges some around that fabric, and it will fringe more as it's used, and that'll be part of the charm of it too. And I will be hand stitching this to this piece here. And then I will be inserting the card there. But starting from the very beginning, I take whatever piece that I'm going to use and I match it to a strip of what I have here. And I already have this, and it's cut this wide, and I thought, well, that's going to work. I could turn it just a little bit, and if I wanted to do it that way and get a little bit more on the edges, which is, I think, what I'm going to do, because it really doesn't matter how this flower lays. It's okay in any direction, okay? So once I've laid it out on that piece of fabric, what I do then is I hold on to it and bring it over and fold it until I get about the same amount on this side as this side. Okay, so that gives me a good place to start there. Now I'm going to pin this to the top layer so it doesn't move on me, and I know where it's going to be. Now, all my projects here at Icky Chic are perfectly imperfect. That means I start with rags, I start with scraps. I sew, just sew it down, whatever stitching anyway. I don't, lots of things are whoppy-doodle, like this is not perfect, okay? But that's okay with me. That's how I like it. It'll be beautiful when it gets done. Perfectly imperfect turns out to be beautifully perfect imperfect, at least in my opinion. Okay, now that's how we get the actual finished size. So when we fold it over and we find that edge, then we just cut. Okay, so now we have our little booklet. We have our front cover. Now we need the inside, and I've been using this fabric here because it's just crazy floral and I love it, and it's beautiful color. It was given to me by my quilting friend, and it was a little thinner than she'd like to use. The weight wasn't as heavy as she liked to use for her quilts, so I was a happy recipient of this, and it lends itself to many things I want to do. So while this is not technically a scrap, it would have been a scrap in somebody's scrap heap if it hadn't been rescued. And she gave it to me so she could rescue it. It is pretty thin, but it's a perfect lining material. And I've used it in other things too, which you'll see off and on because I got quite a bit of it. So just lay some fabric out here. Again, we want to just, let's say on this one, we're going to fold over. So we're going to cut some extra out on the edges so we can do that. Okay. Let me turn it the other direction so I can get a better cut angle at this. You can do all this on a cutting table, makes it somewhat easier, but you can also just sit here at your desk and do it. It's not that critical. Okay, just lay it out and give yourself a little margin on the outside and cut around. It doesn't have to be the same margin on every side. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight cut. Okay, I'll put that aside for now. Okay, so we're going to cut off the selvage for this, and be sure when you cut your selvages off that you save them. They are wonderful added to collages and different things like that, because that writing has a decorative aspect to it when it's used like that. Okay, so we're going to put that over there. Now, this fabric is pretty much the same on both sides, so it really doesn't matter, but one side is a little lighter. Okay, I'm going to use the darker side. I'm going to put it in there like that. Actually, I'm going to have to take this off right now because the next step will be to sew this to this piece right here. The little selvage holes, not a problem. not a problem. Okay, now I'm going to just slide my chair over here to the sewing machine and sew this, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and we've got this machine sewn. Again, you can do this by hand, but I like to do it on the machine, this part of it. You know, and people say, well, how do you determine what to do by machine and what to do by hand? You know, I don't really know. It just, when it comes down to it, I think this is better done on machine than by hand. So it's just a feeling more than anything. This can be the inside or the outside. It doesn't matter, depending on what you want to put your piece on. If you want to put it on the floral, then make the floral your outside, okay, like that. If you want it to be on the on your inside, and your outside to be more scrappy looking, then do it like that. It doesn't matter, just whatever your design preference is at the time. I'm going to leave it on the outside because I just like this look for the outside, okay? And again, this is very scrappy. This is very not finished. It's down, but all the edges are raw. Okay, so we will pin that back to that front piece because I will be hand sewing that on. And I could machine sew it. That would not be a problem. I hand sewed this one. Okay, you can see the stitches there. I could machine sew this one. It would not be a problem at all to do that. And you know, you just decide which one you want to do. And I may end up doing that on this because this has some pretty stitching around already on the edges. The color changes, the threads and everything, the color pattern. I just may machine sew that because machine sewing won't show as much as my hand sewing it would. On this piece, it did not have a finish edge sewn like that. So that way it just has one round of stitching on the back side, and I thought that looked pretty good the way that was. So this is where I would be at this point. Now, for the little pocket area, what I would do is either, if I have something that would make a pocket, that would be really great. But in a pinch, I can always use my scrappy trim that I make, okay? And so a piece of that would look really cool on here. I like that one with the, let's find where the half mark is here, and see if we can finger press that in. There it is. So I know how much to cut. Right about there ought to do it. Again, I think I will elect to machine stitch in the pocket. Now, one of the reasons I like to machine stitch in the pocket is because the machine stitching is stronger, I think. I can stitch and back stitch and make these areas right here really strong so that when you're shoving things in and out, it doesn't pull away, and like that. And you can do that without a whole lot of thread showing too. Okay, and this is just another little piece. It can be another pocket at some point. It can be a decoration. It can be whatever it wants to be later. So we'll let it think about it when it grows up and see what it wants to be. Okay, so we've got a front. We've got a pocket to machine stitch in. Okay, so I will be stitching that off camera. I wanted to show how I am going to finish this one off. This is just a simple little saying that is printed on fabric, and I am simply going to sew it to that card. Let me find a thread here. And I'm just going to tack it to that card. That way it's removable if they want to use it for anything else. I always like that aspect. A lot of times things can be removed. Let's get it threaded. We're just going to tack this in. So I'm going to find about where I want it. Try to carefully hold it as best I can. Put my needle through, and I didn't put a knot in the end because I don't want it. I'm going to be tying this, so I don't want a knot in it. So I just leave some extra there to tie. Okay, straighten it up a little and find my other corner. There you go, like that. Takes a little something to get that thicker thread through that paper. Pull it till it's tight. Okay, all right, then cut off, leaving you enough to tie. Straighten it up. And don't sweat over this because it's a little forgiving as you go around. You can adjust a little here and a little there. Get it tight. And again, if it's a little whoppy doodle, so be it. Okay, I like it. Let's cut off the little tails. Now we have a little tie. Okay. Now we have to do that again on all four corners. So let's come down here and see if we can secure this one. Okay. This is an easy way to attach something like this. There's no gluing, because gluing does come through the paper and shows a lot of times. And oops, I went the wrong way. Start from the top so that you can leave your tail there to tie. Okay, leave it there. Come over and find the other corner. There you go. Okay. If you didn't leave enough thread, you can always pull some back through. Pull it tight, and then let's knot it. Knot it twice, and then trim it. Okay, we got two little ties. Isn't that cute? I love those little ties. Create your own magic, and that's what we're doing. We're being very scrap happy and keeping the world scrap happy. Let's put this one down here. Leave the tail. Find the opposite. Cut you a thing. Okay, let's get it tight. And let's double knot this one. Whoops. The embroidery floss works great for this. It's heavy enough without being too bulky, but you can use whatever you can get through a needle and whatever you can get through the paper. So you can experiment around with different things. This particular floss is 4-stranded. I've already used 2 strands off of this, so it's 4 strands left. Okay, so that's the thickness that I'm working with. Oops, I'm about to do it again. Start from the top so you can leave your tie off. Okay. Okay. Need to pull a little bit more of that one back out. There you go. Okay, we're about done with that. Let's double knot this corner. Now, this piece of fabric is going to fray over time. That's okay too. Like I said, frayed and raw edges add a lot of homespun charm to crafts like this. Okay, that's the little way it's attached. Isn't that cute? That's very simple. It just shows like that on the inside. The card itself, you notice I used the brown cardstock. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a perfectly writable surface and it will show your writing, and so why not? I love it. Now, I have found the center of this previously. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a pamphlet stitch. And to do that, let's see if I can get something here to punch on. Let's see, I need really a hard surface. What am I going to use? Let me turn my needle thing upside down for a minute. But I don't know if that's going to do it or not. I don't think so. My padded surface I use is out of camera range, so we're just going to do this by eyeballing it. We're going to put 3 holes in this for a pamphlet stitch. We're going to find the center, and we're going to put a hole right in that center crease with whatever you got. Let's see. I think I'll start it with a needle. Okay, and see if the awl will make it just a little bigger. See that? Can you? I don't know if you can see that, but there's the tip of the awl coming through. Okay, that's plenty big enough hole to get my thread through. Now we're going to come down from the top just a little, and we're going to make another hole. Take the awl and open it up a little. This is much easier if you've got something soft that you push it into that's protected. But you can do it by hand. It's not that critical. Come about the same distance up from the bottom. Make another hole. That's definitely big enough. Okay, we got 3 holes. Okay, so now we're going to find the center of our card, and we're going to place it in that center of that card about, well, I'm going to have to get another piece of thread before I start here, because that one's not long enough. You want a pretty good length of thread to start with. Better to have too much than too little. you don't want to go through all the sewing, just have to pull it out and do it again. See if I can. Let's see, do I have a, I think I have one here with a little bigger eye. Alrighty, got it. Okay, again, let's center this up. I don't know if you can see the crease, but there is a crease right down through here that I ironed in earlier so that I could see that crease. Okay, and I want to put my cord signature right in that crease, and I'm going to go down through the center, which should show up on the crease out here, which it does. So I'm going to go through the center, and I'm going to leave a long tail. Okay, then I'm going to position the top, and I'm going to come from the back side now through to this center. Whoop. Yeah, let's get that back in place. Holding it in there. Okay, let's see if we can hold it in there this time. And we're looking for that hole, which there it is right there. So we'll come from the back side through, and we pull until it starts tugging on this one, and then we take that, and again, let's re-straighten it, and this time we're going through the bottom one, which is great. It's right where it needs to be. And like I have mentioned in other videos, there are 100 different videos on YouTube as to how to do the pamphlet stitch. Scrapbookers and junk journalers do this all the time. Very proficient at it. Now we're going to go and find the middle and try to get right back through that hole again. There we go. All right. Our needle is through. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to split the difference. Get that needle through there. In the sense that okay, what are we doing here? We got a thread that shouldn't be in there, of course. You know, there you go. Now, we want one of these threads on one side and one on the other. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but one needs to be on one side of this center thread and one needs to be on the other, because we're going to tie it off. We want to catch that middle thread in between them when we tie them off, okay? Now you want to pull on that and get it tight. Cut off your excess. Get it tight. Then we'll go back to double knotting again. Okay, double knot it, for security. And remember, we're not building a skyscraper on this. So we just need it to be firm. We don't need it to be absolutely perfect or so strong that it can't ever be maneuvered, because it can. But here now is our card. When we open it up, we have our card in the middle. Isn't that cute? Plenty of room for writing. Okay, it's got a little playroom in it, so that's okay. You can straighten it up or not, or leave it whoopie doodled. I like that too. Okay, so you can see a person could decorate it, glue things on it, write sentiments on it, do whatever they wanted to do with it. Okay, but when you create these, you can give them yourself or give it as a gift that they could give someone, you know. But here is the binding back here. It doesn't really show. It's strong enough to hold. You could decorate the inside if you wanted to. You could decorate this if you wanted to. You could pre-print something on here. I basically like blank cards unless it's something specific, like a affirmation card for a friend or some particular special reason. That way it's always, they can use it for any occasion. You know, I don't like to have a drawer full of cards, every one to a specific occasion. And then every time I need one, I don't seem to have the one I need. This way, you can do what you want to do. If it's an anniversary, if it's a friendship card, if it's going on a cruise, whatever. You know, a sentiment like this can go with just about anything, whatever it is. But then you can use the rest for what you want. And then tuck a little something in here, or tuck a note card, in this case, in here, in your little pocket. Great if you're going to enclose a photo, put a photo back here. If you're going to enclose another piece of your art as a gift, for instance, like the pendant back here, whatever it is that you wanted to do there. But that's basically a completed card, okay, from start to finish. Very simple, just using little scraps. Now, the next thing you could do if you wanted to is create a tab or something, or a tie, put 2 strings on here and tie it, or just use a wraparound tie. A lot of times what I like to do, let's say I have this scarf here, and I'm just going to cut and tear. And these really flimsy scarves, these drapey, gauzy scarves are great for this kind of thing. Okay. So use that as your tie. It can be part of your gift wrap, but it can be a practical tie also. Just put it on there, make you a little bow, and you got it made. And I'm going to cut the seam off of this one. But I save it. I don't throw that seam away. It'll find its way into something else. Then I open it up. Fussy with it with just a little bit. Okay, come on. Unravel. There you go. There you go. Show them that you're a bow. Yeah. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Now, isn't that cute? Isn't that adorable? You could pin a little charm on here. You just do 100 million different things. But it's scrappy. It's very scrappy. It's very perfectly imperfect. Every little imperfection just adds to the overall look of it, and I love it. And it looks so handmade. It looks so, just sit down and lap work, handwork and lap work, and it, it just feels like love. I can't say it any other way. It just feels like love. Somebody took the time to sit down and create and make and save their scraps and put them together the best way they could, and the best artistic way that they can. And they did it for you. You know, when you receive it, you know they did it for you. And so I hope you enjoyed that process video, and that you'll make one of these little books yourself and go for that. And it's so simple and easy done. And this is with a paper insert. You could do this with fabric insert. It doesn't have to be paper, but paper for a note card or greeting card is the easiest to work with. So if it's another kind of book, you might want to put other pages. It would make a wonderful little needle book with the felt or batting pages sewn in, something like that. And so easy, so durable. You saw that nothing was hard. I did use a machine on part of it. If you do not have a sewing machine, don't worry. You can do what I did, my machine, by hand. It just takes a little longer, okay? So enjoy, and I hope you create one of your own. Until then, please stay scrap happy. Bye-bye.